fans' view. I'll just let this all catch up. Lots to talk about today with regards to Celtic transfer news, and also the situation with the one and only Greg Taylor. The one and only Greg Taylor. Now, when we look back to last season, and look back to a player that was... I want to look back to a player that was in fine form. And he was in that good form that he managed to keep Rio Hatate out the team for the first couple of games of the season. He was in better form than Rio Hatate, and that player was the one and only Turnbull. Yep, but Turnbull had a problem with Celtic, and that he was going into the last year of his contract. Greg Taylor also has that issue with Celtic. We're going to speak about him in a couple of minutes. But before we do that, let's jump into the chat and see who's in the house, and then we'll talk about a few other things before we talk about the Greg Taylor situation. First up was Celtic Girl, hail hail. Paul Baird was in, hail hail. Carly, the one and only Carly, hail hail all my peoples. Carly, you see, has a little icon at the side of her name. That means she is a channel member. If you want to become a channel member, click the bit at the top in the description, but not in the description, the pinned post. Anyway, David Bell's in the house, Jim F's in the house, and George is in the house. Afternoon Baz, and all Celtic fans. Right, let's get into what Brendan was saying after the game yesterday. First of all, he's obviously been talking about Matt O'Reilly the past couple of days. It's also been suggested that he's sat down. Yes, he's sat down and he's had a long meeting with Michael Nicholson and Chris, the financial dude. Yep. As we all know, Celtic do not have a recruitment team. We don't have a recruitment team. We have nobody out there looking for players. So it suggests that Brendan Rodgers knows the players he wants in. Brendan Rodgers said that they have a number of positions that they want to strengthen over the summer. And it's been suggested that this comment was to try and quell Celtic fans' worries over the transfer window. Look, when the speculation is all about your best player, well, one of your best players is going to leave for 25 million, and there's absolutely nada information about any outfield players coming in. The players that were brought in, Kasper Schmeichel, absolutely wonder perfect for Celtic. I think he's an upgrade for Joe Hart with more experience. Sinisalo, one for the future. He's going to train with the one and only Schmeichel for the next season, possibly two, and then take over the number one position. Genius by Celtic, absolutely genius. That's when the board. That's when Nicholson and co are now letting Brendan Rodgers down. Celtic want Adam Ida. They want Paulo Bernardo. The deal's all been done and agreed by Paulo Bernardo, allegedly. I mean, Sky put it out that the fee was agreed for $3.5 million. It seems like an age ago. It was suggested that they were trying to get to the 30%, which they got. So they've got the 30% add-on. So what is holding the deal up? It has to come down to wages, and it has to come down to the money men pissing about as per usual. Celtic want Adam Ida. If they want him, go and just put the money on the table. As simple as that. Celtic went in with a low ball offer for Adam Ida. And, well, we know what it is. Brendan Rodgers says, it's still a long way to go in the window. Our concentration is on what we know, what we want to do. We know what we want to do. The priority positions we want to improve. The club is getting on with that. Myself and the coaches are really focused on it. You're going to expect them to say that. Blah, 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 Brendan. Working on the physicality, the technicality, the technical aspect of the game. We can only work with the players that we've got. Yeah, at some point before the end of August, I'd expect us to have the players in that we want, says Brendan. On Paulo Bernardo, Brendan Rodgers said there's nothing new there. Clearly there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, but until there's any confirmation, well, we'll let you know. I'll make it clear to the Celtic supporters, we want to improve to get better. We do not want to stand still this season. We know what we want to improve in the squad, and by the end of the window shutting, I expect us to be stronger. That sounds like Ange Postecoglou, doesn't it? And until that moment, there's a lot of great work going on here with the players. Yep, some of the younger players are developing really well. Some of the younger players that are with the team in America, I expect them to go out on loan to get first team football. It's been said that Admiral Walker is going to get at least 3 players from the academy. So I reckon that'll be 3 players that have went to America. Brendan's went, no, you're not going back to the B team. You're going out to Admiral Walker. Will one of them be young Toby again? Will Toby been set there to get more first team football? It says other players have really turned into the way that we're working, tuned into the way we're working, and we've had a good pre-season so far. So far. It's been suggested that Celtic want to bring in a couple of strikers and also a left-sided centre-back. A left-sided centre-back. Because let's face it, last night, when you look I spoke to people who watched the game today, and Greg Taylor done okay, but on the other side of the defence on the left was the one and only Scales, and he didn't cover himself in glory. Was one of the comments that was said to me in the pub this afternoon. He didn't cover himself in glory. One of the old guys that sat up to watch the game. September and October, will Greg Taylor get a new contract for 3 years? Let's talk about Greg Taylor then. If we do remember last season, when Turnbull was running down his contract, Celtic haven't brought in another left back this summer, and it is a worry. It's a position that if we go into the season and we've just got Greg Taylor, I think that's going to be our weakest side again, and people will target that. People targeted it last year in Europe, and people will target again this year in the Champions League. That's why I'm saying, do you think that Greg Taylor will be sold in December, a bit like Turnbull? You know, Turnbull wasn't looking to go anywhere from Celtic, but he obviously sat down with the manager, and then just like that, he was sold for $3 million. $3 million. Remember, we got $3 million for Turnbull. People forget about that. People forget about that sale. Yeah, we got $3 million for Turnbull. Will Celtic pull the rug under Greg Taylor's feet? Bring in Adam Montgomery, bring in someone else, and then sell Greg Taylor in December to then bring in somebody else in December. You never know what's going on at Celtic. Anyway, let's jump back into the comments section after Tamat was in the house, and George and Cave David Lanky says, September, October, watch this, Greg Taylor will get a new 3-year contract. But Lanky, isn't that... That's not us moving forward, is it? It's not us moving forward. Greg Taylor's okay, but he has been caught. You know, he has been caught in the Champions League quite a lot, and he does get targeted. Wait a minute here. For years now, Celtic fans have been crying out for a left back. For years now, Celtic fans have been crying out for a left back. But all of a sudden, Greg Taylor's going to be the one and all, and he's going to get a new contract. I'm not buying that. Because there's been plenty of people on this channel that said, look, Greg Taylor is wash. Greg Taylor is wash, and we need a new left back. That's not a new comment. That's not me picking on Greg Taylor. That's a fair play comment by a lot of people that have been watching Celtic for years. Anyway, Lanky says that. Paul McCoon is in the house. Big Dom's in the house. It's clear that Kuhn is now a great-looking player. It's funny how one game can change people's mindset, but it is only pre-season. But let's see if you can carry that form into the rest of the season. Sean says, hail, hail, bud. Hail, hail, you. Patrick is in the house. Maria is in the house. Afternoon, Baz. Carly says, Kuhn is a walking pound sign. Everyone that Celtic signed, Carly, you know it. I know it. And it is what it is with Celtic. And the fact that the boss has sat down with Nicholson and co and had a lengthy conversation. These lengthy conversations should have took place before they went to America. What happened to let's get all the players in early? You know, we're only a couple of weeks. We've one pre-season game left. What happened to getting the players in? This is Brendan Rodgers that said this, not me. This is Brendan Rodgers said this. Brendan Rodgers said, I want to get the players in and I want to get them in early and get them a good pre-season. Do you know, that's been the go-to thing that Brendan Rodgers has said over the last couple of months. I want to get the players in and get them a good pre-season. Because it's only when you have a good pre-season. I mean, Nico Kuhn said it. He's like, I'm getting a good pre-season with the club. If players come in at the end of August, at the end of the transfer window, they're not getting a good pre-season with Celtic. They're not understanding the way that they play. They're not learning all these little tactics that we can do during pre-season. You know, so I just feel that by Brendan Rodgers saying, yeah, come the end of August, it'll all be fine. Anyway, Reman Sham says, all right, Baz, I'm on the Baldies, up the Baldies, yep. Huns are spitting chips, Have you been winding them up all day? Scale doesn't cut the mustard in Europe. He's prone to mistakes. He was prone to mistakes last night. And that cost you in the Champions League. And the one that he should have managed to clear that off the line? I think so. I think a good defender would have cleared that off the line, but he missed the ball completely. He totally misses the ball completely. Big Dom says that he doesn't cut the mustard in Europe. Kevin says it seems we have signed Tanner Tessman. See him in Celtic top with his name on the back. Central midfield player. Well, until Celtic come out and say it, I'm not even adding any speculation anymore because there's that many channels out there that do, and then they just get egg in their face. I mean, there's one Celtic channel that has Celtic deal done every 2 days, and it's like it never happens. Deal done, fucking Celtic transfer news. It's like, fuck off. Still waiting on that deal to be done. Anyway, Lanky says, for goodness sake, the board needs to wake up and bring in players. Lanky, they do. And this. You know, we can all sit and say, yes, pre-season's been fine. We beat Manchester City. You know, they had some of their first team out. They went with a lot of their younger players, but still, we beat Manchester City. That's no, you know, don't take that lightly. Let's not take that lightly. Let's not take away the shine from that glorious moment that happened at the early hours of this morning. But the board need to wake up. If Brendan Rodgers has told the board, this is the players I want. If he's told if he's told these two, right? If he's told Nicholson, right, who's running the show, and he's told the finance guy, this is the players I want. Go and get them. Why have they not got them? Why has it took until we're almost we're at the arse end of the American tour. We're at the arse end of the American tour. We've had 2 games in America so far, and he's turning around and saying, "Yeah, I had a good conversation with them today. We had a lengthy conversation." I'm sorry, but there's a thing called fucking mobile phones in this day and age. You know, there's a thing called a mobile phone. There's a text. There's WhatsApp. Get the fucking finger out, you pair of pricks. It's as simple as that. I mean, he just needs to sit there with the phone and just fucking gets his phone out and go, right, you fucking pair of knobs. Splash the cash or I'm off. Brendan. It's simple as that. He's sitting going, voicemail, or as they do in Spain. Nobody texts in Spain. They'll walk about and go, and Brendan will be like this. Well, lads, it's Brendan. Fucking sitting on 100 million here. These 2 players will cost less than 20 million. Get the fucking money spent. Simple. End the message. Send. Throws the phone out the window. Fucking don't even try and phone me back, says Brendan. Anyway, afternoon Baz says Andrew. Celt88 says, I thought Mark Cooper was doing the scouting. I don't think anybody's doing any scouting. I think Brendan Rodgers has got a list of players that he wants, and he's told these 2 to go and get it. Lanky says, Kevin, as we speak, now the Teesman away with his country, America, to play in the Olympics. So he's not going to be at Celtic anytime soon if he's at the Olympics. He's let us down, Cham Paul, says Celtic Girl. Big Dom says, the more we delay, the less the team gel pre-season. Exactly, this is what I'm talking about. Casper was really good this morning. Yeah, we'll talk about Casper in a minute. George says he should have cleared it not good enough. Yeah, we're talking about the scales one again. It's no easy feat. Despise these clickbait channels. Yeah, the clickbait channels that say it's done deal, it's fucking done deal. Anyway, let's move on to some of the comments. Cool, unsubscribe from the Wacko channel, that Wacko channel time ago. I don't believe that. Do you know what? There's one of them that's doing about 200,000 views a month, which is a lot more than some of these Celtic podcasts are doing. And for a little computerized channel, and it's not me that's behind it. I wish it was, because then I'd been have 200,000 views a month that I'd be getting paid for. Anyway, I really like Gaelish. He's a beautiful human being, says Carly. Preseason games don't really mean a big lot, whether we win or not, says Paul Baird. Yeah, that's true, but it's always good to get one over the English, isn't it? I mean, I walked into the pub this afternoon. I mean, as soon as I seen the score this morning, the guy that works behind the bar in the Celtic pub is a Man City fan. And I texted him this morning and said, get it right up, we were champions of Britain. Anyway, and then I went into the pub and I was like, come on, champions again. And he's like, right, you're barred. You're barred, you're not getting in. And I'm like, what are you doing working on Wednesday anyway? Anyway, a win's a win, Paul, exactly. City underestimated the mighty Glasgow Celtic, as they did. Hardly. They did that. Anyway, in the comments section, do you think that Celtic need another left back now? It's been suggested that Brendan Rodgers wants a left-sided centre-back to play along Cameron Carter-Vickers, purely for the fact that Scales, we know the limitations of Scales. Do we need, yes or no, do we need another left-back? Tell me in the comments. In fact, let's do a poll. Do a poll. Start poll. Let's do a poll, yes or no. Last question. There we go. Start poll. The poll is on. It should be. Yes, the poll is up. Do we need a left back at Celtic? Do we need another left back? Click on the poll. 71% say yes. People are actually voting no. I just, what's going on here? Many accounts have you got, Lanky? How many accounts? Oh, it's at 90%. We need a left back. We do have 31 votes. There are 167 people on the channel at the moment, so we need to get at least 167 people on the votes. There is 167 people watching the video at the minute. There's been 513 for those that left early. I've missed the poll. We all like a good poll at Celtic. And it's unanimous, really. The 9% that have voted no, that must be Lanky's, every channel Lanky's got. Yes, we definitely do. Yep, it's overwhelming with 48 votes in so far. 92% said yes. It's not a lot of votes in. A lot of people are probably thinking, how the hell do I vote from this? If they're watching it on their TV and stuff. Lanky says, we've not got Taylor and Anderson. Our fans are mad and moan about bringing through young players, then moan when we get project players in. Lanky, I don't think it's a project player that we're needing into left back. We brought in, listen, we spent good money on bringing in Bernabe because we knew that the left back area was an area that needed attention. And it's okay bringing it, and this is why I'm saying, are Celtic going to do the dirty on Greg Taylor? Are they going to sell him in December with 6 months remaining on his contract? Because we've got someone coming through in the youth that can take over for Greg Taylor, and then we bring in somebody for the Champions League. That's all I'm asking. Greg Taylor is useless. We need a much better quality left back, says Colin. I'm sure many would like a huge Bobby, says Edward. Dear. You got me to say it, Edward. Edward must be walking about going, shang-a-lang, swing-low. Oh, dear. Anyway. Taylor and Anderson, is that Lanky? Are Taylor and Anderson is that what you want to go in with the Champions League? As usual, Baz, wait until the last minute to sign a player. Yep, James, exactly. The Irish Effie Ambrose is a bomb scare. The Irish Effie Ambrose. Oh, no. Oh, I'm not get that out of my head. I'm going to get pelters now. I'm going to start calling them that, and I'm going to start getting pelters. Welsh is the Irish Effie Ambrose. Jesus God, man. We bring in a left back, and he's going to be back up, in my opinion. Since JT's left, we've spent under 20 million on left backs. The board will see that as well. Lanky, Dom, over the years we've played youth in Europe and done well. Yeah, we have that. I'm all for bringing the youth in, but the left back is an area that would need someone with a little bit of expertise and a little bit of good football knowledge. Any truth in the Starfelt thing? Nah, I think that's just paper talk. I think it's just paper talk. I can't see Starfelt coming back to Celtic. But then again, you never know. You never know. Why not get the Liverpool lad who was at Dundee? We tried to get him in the last transfer window, and I don't think he was interested in coming to Celtic, to be honest. And then Liverpool went and played him for a couple of games. People are saying, Big Dom says, Lanky, we can't take that sort of chance going into Europe, playing one of the young guys. If he comes through and he's at the level that Kieran Tierney, and I'll say this to anybody that doubts the young players coming through, if you doubt any of the young players coming through, just look back to Kieran Tierney when Emilio Izaguirre was at Celtic. Emilio Izaguirre was at Celtic, and a young guy called Kieran Tierney, who was pictured with some fantastic players when he was just a youth player. Young guy Kieran Tierney came in and made that shirt his own. If one of the young guys come in through Celtic and make the shirt his own, I'm not going to complain about it. But he's going to have to be at the level that Kieran Tierney was at. He's going to be at that. He's going to have to be at that level in build, in stature, in speed, and of football knowledge, and ready to step into the first team action, and ready to step into the first team, and be that good that people go, fuck me, we've got a player in him. But do we really have that at Celtic just now? Is there anybody in that position? Is young Anderson in that? I don't think so. Carly says, Super Scoreboard tonight will be a laugh. Yep, I'll be going live after Super Scoreboard, so as soon as that's finished at 8 o'clock, I will be going live. So it's 9 o'clock European time. It will be 8 o'clock Celtic Park time. We'll be back to the lives. It does say it on the channel header. 8 p.m. live every night. During the summer, it's been all over the place. But it is getting back to near enough normal, so it will be back to the 8 p.m, 9 o'clock here, 8 p.m, Celtic Park time. We will be live this evening. Paul Baird says, Brendan will do what he's told by the board when push comes to shove. Paul, exactly. And I think Brendan's probably sat down with him and says, look, do you know, what is the current situation as we know it? And yes, there's been bids for Matt O'Reilly. Is it a case where when we hit the price point of 25 million, does that then mark the change? And I like the way that Brendan Rodgers has been changing it. I like the way that Brendan Rodgers has been changing it and saying, look, it's not about Celtic selling. It's about Celtic being unable to compete with the wages of other teams. I don't think Matt O'Reilly is that much of a materialistic type of guy, to be honest. And I think that's doing Matt O'Reilly a discredit. It is doing Matt O'Reilly a discredit, right? There's 87 votes in, but still 174 people on. So make sure that you do vote in the poll. Do we need a left back? 92% says yes, 8% said no. But I think by Brendan Rodgers saying that it's hard for players to turn down, I think that Matt O'Reilly would rather stay at Celtic for one more year and do well in the Champions League, and then try and have his picky teams. Even if he's sold in the January, I think that saying that it's hard for Celtic to compete with wages, yeah, I mean, Carly's saying Jota. Jota, you're never going to compete with fucking 10 million a year at Celtic. Not a chance. I mean, that's fair play. But when it comes to Matt O'Reilly, the difference be going from what he's on at Celtic, say 15,000 a week, to 25, 30,000 at this stage of his career, I don't think that overly worries him, because I think that Matt O'Reilly knows inside him, inside his own body and inside his own mind, that when he does leave Celtic, it will be for much bigger wages and a bigger contract. And I think that he will want to make the right decision for him, for a football sense. Now, Southampton are saying that Southampton are going to break the bank, and Southampton are saying that they want to break their own transfer record and bring in Matt O'Reilly. I don't think that Southampton, and this is no disrespect to Southampton, well, it is. It is. It's fuck Southampton. I don't think that Southampton is where Matt O'Reilly sees himself playing football. You don't have the chance to go to Atletico Madrid and then end up in Southampton. Sorry, I just don't buy that shit. I just don't buy that shit. I don't buy it at all. Anyway, we're 93 votes, and when we hit the 100 votes, we could see who's won the poll anyway. It's yes, we need another left back. Can Southampton stumping up the initial ballpark bid if we want to get it going? Yes, I can see Southampton doing that. They will stump up the 25 million. I think Matt O'Reilly will then go, no, I don't want to go to Southampton. Southampton might go, look, we're going to pay you 35 grand a week. And I think that Matt, you don't do what Matt has done in football when money is the main contributing factor and the main objective in your life and your career. You don't turn down a contract at Fulham to know that you don't have another club. Right? You don't then go down to MK Dons when you had your financial security here with Fulham, and then MK Dons, you're way back down here so you're playing football. That tells me that Matt isn't the type of player that's going to jump ship at the first offer. It doesn't. It tells me that he's that kind of person that is okay within himself, because he knows that the football journey that he's going to go on. So for me, I think that if a Liverpool come walking down the door, yes, you're going to say, right, I mean, there's rumours going around that Liverpool are sitting watching the situation very carefully. If Liverpool come in, then you're sitting thinking, okay, right, that's a team that's in the Champions League most years. That's the team that is the possibility of winning the league in England. Although Man City have just done 4 in a row. It must be boring in leagues where you've got the same team that wins it all the time, eh? And then to get beat by a bunch of fucking farmers in a farmer league. Must be devastating for Man City fans this morning. They got pumped by a bunch of farmers for the Farmers League up in Scotland. But anyway, talking about Matt O'Reilly in that situation, I think that'll clear itself when it does. And the fact that it has taken till now for Brendan Rodgers to sit down with Nicholson and the other dude and say, right, what is going on with the transfer window? Brendan, what's going on with your mobile phone? I would be on the phone every day. What's going on? What the fuck's going on with Adam Ida? What's going on with Paulo Bernardo? It was all over Sky News. Celtic have agreed 3.5 million. What do you mean you haven't done the deal yet? What the fuck are you playing at? Just pay the fucking wages and get them in. Shut the fuck up. Hang up on them. Only phone me when you've signed them. Don't phone me again until you've signed the players I want. And if you've not signed them by August, watch this fucking space. That would be me. Anyway, 17 million isn't good enough, but he still jumped ship. Matt O'Reilly will end up a 70 or 80 million pound player. Yes, he will, Carly. He will, and this is my thinking. You know, why go to a club that doesn't fulfil the ambitions that Matt O'Reilly will have? Because let's face it, Matt O'Reilly's got ambitions to go to the top, and he must see himself playing at a higher level than Atletico Madrid. Do you know that? You think about that for a minute. Because if Matt O'Reilly said, right, I'm going to go to the top 4 teams in either the English League, Spanish League, the German League, or the Italian League, you're thinking, right, Atletico Madrid comes under that. Right, they're in and around top 4. Southampton aren't in and around top 4. They never will be, sorry. So I can't see him going to Southampton. Anyway, couldn't score against St Johnstone, but beat Man City. Bravo. Exactly. 17 million initial bid. Yep. Is basically... Paul Bell says, Matt O'Reilly wants to stay. He will probably go. If he's at Celtic until Christmas, we'll be lucky. I think he wants the Champions League with Celtic. I think he wants those nights at Celtic Park. I think he wants to experience those nights at Celtic Park again. And do you know, there's a lot of things that players... I don't think it was all down to Celtic turning down that offer in December. I don't think it was all down to Celtic just saying no. Celtic would never turn down 18 million for a player. Okay, they wanted them on loan to the end of the season, but Celtic would fucking bite the hand off anybody that offered them that kind of money for a player. I don't think it was Celtic. I think Celtic grabbed the opportunity when Matt O'Reilly said, I don't want to leave Celtic just now. I want to win as the league. I want to win the Cup double. I'm not finished here yet. I've got things I want to achieve. And I think that the board have went, right, we're going to put a 25 million thing is. When there's 25 million, that triggers the talks. Matt O'Reilly's probably went, right, okay then. Thinking, nobody's going to come in for 25 million for me. So no, nobody in their right mind's going to come in for 25 million for me. That's what Matt O'Reilly will be thinking. Matt O'Reilly could easily improve the current England or German national sides. That's why he's got to be a 30 million minimum. They will get a bidding war going. I think there will be a bidding war going on towards the end of the transfer window, unfortunately. I think Matt will want to stay, and I hope he does. He adds something to us. We get robbed when a player leaves. We do get robbed when a player leaves. I hope the Celtic are not waiting to sell Matt O'Reilly before buying a player. I hope so as well, James. I don't think that is the situation. But I think Matt wants to stay for the 55. I think Matt wants to stay for the 55 also. I think it would be a good thing that if he did do that. George, I think that Matt wants to stay and to keep going as long as he can. I don't think he wants to stay and keep going as long as he can. I think that every player knows the limit at a club. And Brendan Rodgers says that, look, he's been here 3 years now. And as an asset, the 3-year mark is generally the turnaround mark. It's generally the time where people move on and players move on. Is it that time for Matt O'Reilly? Some people say yes, some people say no. Do we need a left back? There's been 112 votes. The majority, 94%, said yes, we do need a left back. Greg Taylor is not the answer. And no, 7%. There's people actually voting saying, no, we don't need a left back. They're more than happy with Greg Taylor. Oh, can't wait to the first game that Greg Taylor slips or lets a ball go past them and gets totally out of position first game of the season, and then the cry will be like, fucking first pish, get him out, he's fucking shite, told you we need a left back, you fucking shouting fucking. Anyway, 25 million and he will be pushed out the door, says Paul Baird. Baz, if he goes, it'll be to a Spanish team for 25-30 million. But I think he will stay for one more season. Celtic are 100%. The silence is definitely coming out of that lot. Celtic have a minimum value for Matt O'Reilly. He looks happy to stay until that minimum is met. I think that has been agreed with Matt O'Reilly. Yeah, I think exactly. That is the situation. And I think Matt O'Reilly's sitting there going, nobody's going to pay 25 million for me. I'm not that good a player. I'm not that level yet. And I think that's what Matt O'Reilly's doing. He's like, I don't think anybody will. And Brendan Rodgers is going, right, fair play. And the fucking board are sitting going, how much? Nah, fuck, shit, 18. No, nigga, not fucking 15 million. Fuck off. Go on, 25. Just keys the 25. Hello, Atlanta. They hung up. Fuck me. Hello, Atlanta. Oh, you're back. Hiya, how you doing? Fucking great. Brilliant. Matt O'Reilly, yes, he's still for sale. Aye, he's still for sale. How much do you want to put in? 18. No, we said 25. Hello, Atlanta. Fuck, they've hung up again. Ah, fuck. Anyway, that's the Celtic news for this afternoon. We will be back at 8 p.m. Celtic Park time tonight. The angry mob chasing them down Celtic Way. Yep, the angry mob would be chasing them down Celtic Way. Baz, you should do more polls. It's a great idea. I'm going to do more polls. We will do more of them. We've been on for 33 minutes. We've been on for 4 minutes now, longer than what I was going to be. Anyway, make sure that you join the channel. There's been over 980 people on this live. We will be live at 8 p.m. Celtic Park time. Make sure you join us for that. There's currently 193 people on this. Let's end the poll. End the poll. And do we need a left back? Was the question. 93% said yes, and 6% said no. You're the 6%. You think Greg Taylor's fantastic. Anyway, imagine being in the position that will not back 18 million. That's crazy. Exactly. Absolutely crazy. Imagine Kyogo and Mawowski, or however you fucking pronounce him. I don't think that Celtic are going to play 3-5-2 this season, but it'll be interesting to see if we do. I'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans.